Welcome to Real Estate Radio Live, an informative and engaging podcast discussing everything you need to know about the world of real estate. Your host, Joe Kuchera, provides you with insight and guidance on how to buy, sell, finance, and invest in real estate. He also offers real estate tax management strategies, new construction advice, home improvement tips, and much, much more. And now, to guide you around the world of real estate, here's your host and Real Estate Radio Live team leader, Joe Kuchera.
Welcome in, Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live. Thank you for those that are following us live feed on Facebook. We appreciate that. As I'll continue to remind everybody and mention, we want to continue to grow the show by obviously allowing more people to watch the show, listen to the show, and download. This is a podcast, although we do broadcast live on Facebook, and we try to use social media as much as we can to the benefit of the consumer, to other vehicles to listen and watch. But love to have you download the podcast. If you haven't already done so, you could go to RERL-1567-Accessing, or you could just go to iTunes, Stitcher, Google+, any of the normal places. Just go online, type in Real Estate Radio Live, and then you can download the podcast, listen to it at your convenience whenever is right for you. Most of you, again, as we get started, we try to stay consistent. We are on a new schedule, so I just want to let those know that are listening to the podcast, downloading. We'll be doing our live show typically Monday through Thursday now. The Monday show is going to be right around 11 o'clock or so Pacific Standard Time for those that may want to tune in via Facebook. And then obviously to download the podcast is what you're going to want to do to listen to the show at your convenience. Again, it's Monday through Thursday. We'll continue that. Typically Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we're in around 3 o'clock or so Pacific Standard Time. The show has been focused the same. The objective has been the same for almost 8 years, and that's education and information. So what I work really hard to do is have great guests like today, partnerships, content, provide that to you, the consumer, to help you make wise decisions in and around your real estate and all the different facets of real estate. So with that, let me bring in Mr. Mark Rogers with Barristone. They were with us for the kickoff last week. We're going to be going forward, just so that you know, every single Monday, providing we're on schedule and we're in town. We'll do the show right around 11 o'clock. And Mark Rogers again with Barristone. The topic today is the same. We're going to be talking over the next several months about the importance of a new program, Accessing Home Wealth Without Debt. That's right, Accessing Home Wealth Without Debt. A lot to talk about here. So welcome back, Mark. Good to see you again.
Thanks, Joe. Great to be here.
Yeah, another good message today. We're going to obviously keep putting out the information and exciting news about this new vehicle and program to help people access the wealth from their home and their equity. But we're all going to get into some detail today about debt, and then a lot of people acquiring debt for many different reasons, some good, some bad. We're going to talk a little bit about that. So before we get started, Mark, maybe again if you could just give the listeners a bit about your background and how you guys got Barristone started, and then we'll get going here.
Well, thanks, Joe. Barristone's been around for about 5 years now, helping homeowners get access to their home wealth. What we found is that homeowners had amassed a lot of home wealth. Mm-hmm. And as it's been, you buy a home, and it's your forced savings account, and you accumulate a lot of wealth in that in your home. And then when you get towards retirement age, or even less than that, in your 40s or 50s, you look to access that home wealth. And traditionally, there's only been one way to access that, is basically taking on more debt. And Barristone sought out a solution, and we've come up with an equity-based solution. And the key to it is it's based on the future. You're not accessing your actual home wealth or your equity. You keep and protect all of that equity. And what you agree to do is, for receiving up to about 20% of your home's value, you agree to share the future appreciation of the home if that happens, or the depreciation if that happens.
Perfect. So in essence, there's more details, and I know each profile is different for each client, but you're looking at accessing equity from your home with no payments and no age requirements. Obviously, you have to be 18 or older.
Correct.
But that's a big deal, because we've talked before about people have options to leverage their home, but typically they take that on as debt, so they're paying monthly payments on that debt. And then some people will talk, Mark, about the reverse mortgage, but in comparison to that, that's a very expensive proposition and there's limitations behind the reverse mortgage for people.
That's correct. For a reverse mortgage, you have to be 62 years of age or older. And then most importantly, you can't have any debt on the property. So that means if you have a $200,000 or $300,000 mortgage at 2 or 3%, as many have refinanced, you would be having to take that existing mortgage of about 3% and replace it with a higher cost reverse mortgage before you got any additional capital out. And what happens is that becomes, with the compounding effect, that becomes an expensive solution.
Right. Let's talk today a little bit about, we've discussed all the different things that people could do with this. Last week, we'll continue to that too, just a reminder. People could use it for college education. They could use it to remodel their home. One of the popular things we've talked about, Mark, and I see it a lot in our area too, and I'm doing it myself, is a new additional unit on your property, right? And, I mean, that is a real popular thing right now. And I won't get off track here, but for a moment I just want to bring this up because I've done a couple of shows on this. Remember, that California is a state, specifically, obviously, our information goes out more into Silicon Valley, the broader Silicon Valley, but city of San Jose, and I know other cities, they're now loosening up the restrictions and guidelines to allow people to add another unit on their property, depending on the size of the property. There's limitations somewhere between 400 square feet and 1,000 square feet. Depends on lights. A lot of different parameters. However, I know San Jose specifically, only because I'm going through it, has really loosened up the guidelines. For instance, just real quick, I'll give an example why some people may have a perception. It used to be if some people converted their garage, that they would say, the city would come in, Mark, and say, you know what, you need to put a carport in, you need to do all these things that are very, very expensive in order for us to legally permit that unit. Well, now, for instance, they're saying, don't worry about the carport because of these other issues. And I guess my point is, the reason I want to bring this up in conjunction with the program that you guys have is this is an incredible opportunity for people to not only reinvest in their property and their investments, but you could use it as a rental unit. You could use it for your parents, your grandparents, children. This is in my opinion, this is one of the best things someone could do on their property. And here's the last thing I'll say about one of the reasons I say that is timing is everything. In a year or 2 years from now, don't kid yourself. If the cities all of a sudden decide to shut this program down, they will, and they won't be as friendly, right?
That's correct. And we see a lot of homeowners now that as we get older and we look at how expensive the Bay Area is, we have a lot of homeowners that are coming to us and saying, it's really unfortunate my kids are looking to move out of the area. And, they just don't have that down payment for the house, and what can we do? And we had one couple that looked at it and said, we have this property. If we could build a unit on it, it's just myself now. In this case, it was just a mother. The husband had passed away. And she said, I don't need a large house. I'd be happy in a small house. What can we do? And so what they did is they used the product to be able to build the accessory dwelling unit. The mother moved into the accessory dwelling unit, and then her son and daughter-in-law and young child moved into the house. Okay. And that allowed the kids to stay next to, close to the mother, remain in the Bay Area, and it worked out for everybody.
That's good. So we're going to talk now. We're going to launch a little bit into debt, using debt solutions and a lot of different things you could do, a different way of thinking for sure. But before we do that, just a reminder, if you want more information about this product, maybe you're thinking, gee, it might be good for you, your family member, coworkers, friends, go to bundleselect.com. That's bundleselect.com. Go to the contact form and just give us some basic information, just your name, email, how to contact you, that you're interested in this program. And then Mark or Steve will give you a call and contact you and just kind of walk you through the different aspects, because it does really apply differently to each person, right, Mark? I mean, really, you can't just, it's not a one-fit-all.
No. The one thing is that we have lots of products and lots of solutions, and we really try and customize the solution to the homeowner's need. Not everyone needs a 30-year program, just like they don't need a 30-year mortgage. So we have programs 10, 20, 30 years, and different provisions in them to match the homeowner's needs.
Very good. Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back, and Mark and I are going to dive more into debt solutions using the equity to satisfy or obligate some debt solutions because, again, a lot of things going forward, we want to give some different options to the consumer and educate you like we always do. For more information, again, about this product, go to bundleselect.com. That's bundleselect.com. Go to the contact page. Just give us some simple information, and we'll be in touch with you to give you some more details. This is Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live. Again, for those that are following us on Facebook, stick with us. We're going to take a quick 1-minute break for the podcast. We'll be back with you in just a minute. Thanks.
For more information on today's program, visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com.
Getting ready to buy or sell a home in 30, 60, or 90 days? Check out bundleselect.com to find out how you could save 20% or more on your entire transaction. Real estate, lending, and title. With bundleselect.com, technology and a personal concierge are at your service to save you time and money. BundleSelect's hand-picked team of experts will compete for your business so you'll save thousands of dollars by bundling real estate, lending, and title services. BundleSelect.com gives you all the control, including using your own realtor. I'm Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live, and I have been on the radio educating consumers for years. I'm here to tell you BundleSelect.com is the best way to save money on real estate. By bundling services, you could save tens of thousands of dollars. This savings model could save you money on your move, lower your interest rate, or cover your closing costs. Visit BundleSelect.com. That's BundleSelect.com.
The estimated minimum savings are based on a comparison with the national average. Individual results may vary, and the estimated savings are not guaranteed. Bundle Select Inc. is a licensed real estate broker. California Bureau of Real Estate Broker License Number 004666902.
Welcome back to Real Estate Radio Live. For more information on today's topic or guests, just visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com. Again, your host for today's edition of Real Estate Radio Live, Joe Kuchera.
Welcome back in. Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live. Thank you again for those that are following us on Facebook. We appreciate it. We continue to try to provide as much information as we can, and of course, we want to try to give that to you, deliver it to you as many vehicles as we can. This is a podcast, so if you haven't done so, please go to RERadiolive.com or go to Stitcher, iTunes, any of those places. Download the podcast. It's Real Estate Radio Live. And tell us what you think. Give us a review, and hopefully you stay in contact with the show. Today we have in studio Mark Rogers with Barristone. We're talking about the title that you'll hear in the next several months going forward will be really consistent. We want to really educate. This is an educational process, really. It is a vehicle that is exciting. It's a great opportunity for the right people, but it is a process of education. And you know me, if you've been following the show for a long time, I'm a big fan of education information, so this goes right along with it. So again, accessing home wealth without debt is the topic, and we'll continue to talk about the program, Accessing Home Wealth Without Debt. So Mark, the thing when we want to talk about today more is more focused on debt solutions, let's say. I mean, you know, people rack up credit cards. It could be auto loans. It could be student loans. Let's face it. It could be medical bills. It could be all kinds of different things that happen in what I call real life. You know, things happen in life, and we could prepare the best we can, all of us and some of us, but things still happen. And sometimes those things cause us to accumulate debt. So talk a little bit about this program as it relates to someone being able to get some relief in many different ways and pay down or pay off some of this debt.
Sure. What we found is homeowners, you know, we've been saying for a while, are house rich and cash poor. Unfortunately, there are a lot of homeowners that are house rich, cash poor, but in debt.
Yeah.
When you look at it, homeowners can look at their home, and it might be $1.5 million home. They have a $200,000 mortgage, and they think, great, I have $1.3 million in equity. And they don't qualify for a home equity loan, or they don't want to take out a home equity loan but rack up their credit card debt or medical bills or student loans, whatever it is. And they may feel comfortable because, you know, I have $100,000 accumulated debt in credit cards and high-interest loans because it's not a big deal because I have $1.3 million of equity in my homes. The problem is you can't access that $1.3 million. and you're accumulating debt at sometimes 18-20% on credit cards. And ultimately, you want to solve that.
Right.
And you can't solve a debt problem with more debt.
Right.
And so what we have is an equity-based solution that is available to homeowners, that you can access that wealth that you have in your home, and there's no monthly payments. In this particular program, it's a 10-year program. Homeowners can pay off all of their debt. Now they don't have any monthly payments. They can restore their credit score, and a lot of times people's credit scores have been adversely affected because they have too much debt.
Right.
And when they go to try and get a loan or a home equity loan, they don't qualify because their credit score is too low.
Right.
Well, this program will solve that. They'll wipe out all their credit card debt over the next couple of years. They'll be able to restore that credit score. And not only that, if they're diligent, and we've had a couple homeowners where it's been very successful, in 4 years they not only were able to save, they were able to buy out of the transaction, and they came out in much, much better financial shape.
Yeah. No, I can't. Mark speaks to this. I would say if you're listening to this show, and if yourself, someone again, pass this along, let them know, friends, family, coworkers, elderly. This is really one of the things that hits the target. And what I mean by that is, imagine if you're in debt, 50, 100,000, 150, 200,000 with credit card, student debt. Doesn't really matter what it is. And understand that most of that is probably not tax deductible. I'm not a CPA, but I do know enough that majority of the debt, when you're talking about credit card and all that, is not tax deductible. So you're losing on that. You're typically paying higher interest rates. It's, in some ways, most of it seems like you'll never get out of it because what you're doing is making the minimum payment, and it could take years. So as Mark's talking about, this is really a great program to be able to access home wealth, pay off that debt. Can you imagine $2,500, $3,000, $3,000 worth of debt going away, and then no monthly payment on that, and then curing your credit over the next couple of years and getting yourself back on your feet and actually saving money instead of spending that non-taxable payments every month? I mean, to me, this is a great opportunity.
It is, and it's really the only way you can solve a debt problem.
Right.
Because if you take on more debt, you're going to have a monthly payment. Even debt consolidators, they're consolidating your debt, and a lot of times they don't solve the problem. It just exasperates the problem in a lot of cases because it doesn't satisfy any of the debts. It just increases the debts. Our solution allows them to get the money to pay it off, not have any payments, and then eventually build up enough savings and their credit score to either refinance out of it or just pay it off in full.
Right.
And so we help the homeowners not only manage their financial wealth, but for the first time manage their home wealth.
Okay, very good. For more information, again, go to bundleselect.com, bundleselect.com. If you're interested, or if you know someone's interested, you think someone might want to consider this program, I'd highly recommend this as a solution to consolidate and get rid of debt. As Mark mentioned, think about it. If you have $100,000 or $100,050 worth of debt, typically most people would say, well, get a debt collector or go try to get another loan. As Mark mentioned, you're just taking on more debt, number one, so you're increasing your monthly liability. And number two, I could almost guarantee you that any program like that, because of the situation you're in, that money is going to be very, very expensive when you go to borrow money to pay off additional debt like that. So go to bundleselect.com, just go to the contact form, fill out some basic information, and Mark or Steve will get a hold of you to try and see if this program's right for you or maybe what opportunities may be provided for you. So, Mark, take us through kind of what happens next. If someone's interested, they go fill out the form, they get on the phone, or typically I know you guys like to meet face-to-face because these are really important decisions. Take us through kind of the process of what a person should expect.
Sure. What we do is we'll talk with the homeowner on the phone. If they're comfortable, that's fine. If they want, we meet with them in person, but we don't have to. But what we really want to do is understand their whole financial picture and what they're looking to solve. And then we tailor a program exactly to meet their needs. It's very easy, and the qualification, again, is not based on your credit score or your income to qualify. It's really based on equity in your home. So if you have at least 50% equity in the home, you pretty much will qualify for one or more programs, and that way we can tailor the solution to them. It's a very easy application, and it can be done and solved within probably 3 to 4 weeks.
Great. So again, let's go through, if we can, some of the things. Give us some examples of how you helped. I know you helped several people in several different ways you could do. Give us some example of what some people are using the money for. I know you mentioned, to build an extra unit, to pay off debt. What are some of the other things you're seeing?
Well, we've seen a lot of homeowners that have, in their younger homeowners, use it to fund college education. Educational debt, again, is high-cost debt. They may not have saved enough. They can access their home wealth to fully fund education. We've seen homeowners use it for an accessory dwelling unit. As I mentioned, a woman who built the accessory dwelling unit for herself. We've seen people use it for credit repair. 2 examples. On the one, they used it for $50,000, and this was about 4 years ago, and they just paid it off 3 weeks ago. And then we had, on the other spectrum, we had someone that had amassed $225,000 worth of credit card debt. Very impressive.
Wow. Yeah, that is.
Not sure how he was able to get $225,000 of credit card debt, but he was successful in getting that. Unfortunately, his monthly payments were exorbitant.
I can imagine.
We were able to get him enough money to pay it fully off and unburden him from all of that debt. And, I spoke to him recently, and he is saving money and has a plan to pay it off and put his financial situation back in order.
Great. The other thing you mentioned last week I thought was a great idea, too, is here we are in Silicon Valley, people that want to start businesses, right?
Yes. It's a great way to start a business. You really don't want to fund a startup with debt.
Right.
Because if something happens to the startup business, you're still stuck with the debt. We had a gentleman who used it to fund his business with $250,000, and his comment was, I'm willing to do this transaction. I've got cash here, and I can get debt. But this way, if the small chance that the business does not work out, my life doesn't change. There's no monthly payments. I can leave it in place for as long as I own the home. So he did that, and it's a great way to kickstart a new business.
Let me say, we got a couple minutes left, but one of the things that resonates with me on this program, too, there's a lot of things, but the other huge benefit here, ladies and gentlemen, listen to this. If you're starting a business, you're in debt, you want to get an accessory, I don't care what you're doing, think about this. Most people, the first thing they think about is what? Either taking on more debt, or, here's the other thing that I see which is sad, or they tap into and liquidate their retirement that they spent the last 20 years savings on. And then you're paying penalties on that. I tell you, one of the things that hurts me the most to see people worked hard their entire life, have money in their 401k and their investments that they're trying to prepare for retirement or trying to schedule for retirement, and they interrupt that by taking money out and paying penalties and taking money from retirement, Mark. I mean, that's a tough deal because now that money's not working for you anymore, right?
Taking money out of your retirement account, except for pre-planned living expenses, is sacrilegious. I mean, everything should be predicated on having enough money for retirement. And as homeowners live longer, they need more money in retirement. And some, just need money for peace of mind. We had an 86-year-old woman who had a fully paid off $1.6 million house and woke up every morning worried that the dishwasher would break. She had literally $1,800 of savings.
Sad.
That the dishwasher would break, the washing machine would go out, and she would have no money to fund it. She did this transaction, and the money's in the bank. It's her comfort cash.
Right.
Her daughter says, she's not seen her mother as happy as this in years, and it's really for peace of mind.
No, I love it. It's great. We're just about running out of time, so again, for more information, if you're interested in this program, you want to consolidate debt, you want to think about starting a business, you want to think about helping your grandchildren, your children in school, there's all kinds of different ways you could do this. Again, accessing home wealth without debt. The key is without debt, without monthly payments. Remember, This is accessing your equity, your wealth, without doing that. Go to bundleselect.com. That's bundleselect.com, and just go to the contact page, fill out some simple information, and Mark or Steve will get a hold of you. So before we duck out here today, Mark, give those, again, your contact information in case someone just wants to pick up the phone and talk to you more about this.
Sure. Someone can call me directly at 650-464-7272, or if they want to go to our website, it's Barastone, BARASTONE.com.
Very good. Mark, good to have you again, and we'll be back at it next week.
Thanks, Joe.
All right. This is Joe Kuchera of the Real Estate Radio Live. Thank you again for tuning in today. Again, for more information, you can always go to RERL-1567-Accessing. Take care and have a great afternoon.
You've been listening to Real Estate Radio Live. For more information on today's program, visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com. Subscribe to our podcast. Discover more at RERadiolive.com.